Hello my friends and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a first look at the Easilock model E1 and E2. You can see we have the E2 model right here, and here is the E1. I've mounted them on some wood. So let's go ahead and put this in the vise and we'll pick it, and then we'll do a breakdown analysis, taking it apart and taking a look and see what all the components are. Okay, so we have the Easilock in the vise. You can see that the key does work, it operates the deadbolt. And we're going to lock the lock. You can see that you can't unlock it now. Let's go ahead and try to get this open. Can you guys see that? Let's try to. There we go. Let's bring that up just a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better. Now, what makes this tricky is that I have to hold the dial while I'm tensioning, otherwise it'll turn the housing with the core. Let's overset something. There we go. You can see we've unlocked the door. Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and take this out of ice and do a deep dive analysis of what we are working with. Okay, so we got the E1 and the E2 model out of the way. First off, let's go ahead and actually take a look at the E1 model. So you can see we got our deadbolt, and like we saw earlier, I can lock it by turning the dial. I can't unlock it by turning the dial, but I can use the key to retract the deadbolt. This is the exterior of the lock. Let's go ahead and lock it. In the interior of the lock, we can see that we can lock and unlock it by turning the dial. If I wanted to remain in the unlocked state, let's say I'm going in and out of the house multiple times, I can push this button here, and that will lock the dial. That will also prevent me from accidentally locking myself out of the house, as well as using the key to lock the deadbolt. Let's say, okay, I'm ready to go to bed. I lock the door. I can put this safety latch on here now on this button here. It's locked. This is also not going to undo the deadbolt, but what's nice about this is when it's in this position, even if I pick the lock, I can't retract the deadbolt even with the key. So it's an extra security feature. I've not found a way to bypass this yet, but it's not saying that's impossible. So that's the E1 model. The E2 model is basically the exact same thing. The only difference is it has this extra button on the exterior of the lock. And what that does is you can lock, if you're in the unlock state here, you're going in and out, you can prevent yourself from getting locked out. So I can push this button and then I don't accidentally lock myself out of the house if I forget my keys. I forgot to mention that, well, this is on this one too. I forgot to mention this button is also used as an anti-child feature. So let's say for example, if Rune Jr. knows how to operate the deadbolt, I can put this on here and now he can't lock me out of the house by accident. So we're gonna go ahead and take apart the E2 model, just because it's the current latest one. I think they have an E5 coming out soon, which will have Wi-Fi capability, which would be cool to see. Let's go ahead and undo the screws here. There's a pinning tray. We can start capturing some of this hardware. Now this also has rubber gaskets on it as a weather seal, so that can help prevent water from getting in the inside. All right, let's take this off. So this is the exterior dial. You can see it just locks. If it's not attached to anything, it just free spins. You can set it to, like for example, when you do the installation, you could set it to operate on these two buttons if you wanted to instead of these two buttons. That's what the interior looks like. It says E2 on here, but it's definitely the E1 model. All right, let's put that right there. Now we have this mounting hardware plate that holds the backside in. Oop. Come on. So here's this plate here. It denotes which side is down, as well as it has our rubber gasket on here. Now we can take this portion off. Here is the deadbolt. It's just like a traditional deadbolt, nothing too special about it. So here is this portion here, and I have not taken it apart any further than this, so I don't actually know. It does appear that there are some screws here. So here's the seal. I guess I should probably have denoted where that is, but this will be a thing for me to figure out how it goes back together later. Oh, actually it goes like that. Okay, not too bad. All right, so seal. We can move these closer in the frame. Here's our keys. What I'm curious about is I'm pretty certain that these are all standard pins in the pin tumbler. It would be, if they were to upgrade this, I would recommend putting spools in there, because like I said, having to hold on to the dial while tensioning and also provide counter rotation, I feel like would in and of itself make it more difficult to pick. All right, so here's this side. And this is what we got working with here. I believe this is our cylinder. It looks like I can take this off. Hopefully I can figure out how to put this all back together. And that is definitely our cylinder. So it looks like I can take these screws off maybe and get this plate off to take the cylinder out. like HV Logic said, I'm gonna have to probably watch this in reverse to figure out how to put this all back together. Oh, come on. There's one more screw right here. All right, look at that beauty. All right, that's what this part looks like. And I guess that goes, probably should have. Probably should have paid attention to where that goes. Looks like okay, looks like it goes like that. So that goes in that hole right there. Okay. And looks like appears there are 2 seals that go on this. And this is our, oh, that comes off. That is the spring for this, it looks like. And then here is our, what's catching? That's catching. I think this is a ball bearing rotating disc. And now we have access to our cylinder. Interesting that it appears that there's definitely some holes here, but not here. I don't understand. Because definitely more than 3 pins. I think it's like 6 pins. Man, I hope I can put this back together. And then here is our button. Also, another recommendation, I guess, is it'd be cool if they made this out of metal instead of plastic. I feel like you might be able to shear this or break it by tensioning it really hard. Okay, so that's that. I could take this apart if we wanted to look at it. I don't necessarily know if we need to take it apart though. I think it's gonna look pretty much exactly the same as the other half. Okay, so that being said, let's go ahead and tilt this down just slightly. And we need this. Come on. There's a spring. I knew there was a spring in there. And we need our one of many keys. And always shim. Let's put this in here, this stuff. pins are on this side. Oh, that's interesting. There's a detent right there. These look like almost American 1100 size pins. Maybe not. Maybe they're Schlage. And that ball bearing does not want to come out. I'm not going to force it out. So here's our core. You can see it's all standard. There's nothing special in there. These are all standard pins like I thought. These are definitely not Schlage size pins, but I think they're too big for 1100s. All right, take this out. This pin is standard of the spring. This next pin is a standard with a spring. Next we have, this one is standard with a spring. Come on. And let's do this side. Standard spring, like I said, I think these are all going to be standard with a spring. And then the last one. Yep, so these are all standards with springs. And I don't believe there's anything too special about the Bible. Looks pretty standard, although I'm not too sure, like I said, why these are tapped and these are flush. But it's definitely interesting. Anyways, that is the Easilock. Hopefully I can put all this mess back together. And like I said, the E1 model I'm pretty certain is exactly the same as this. So thank you all so much for watching. If you guys liked this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.